Hey guys, it's Stephanie here with the Bookish Brew. I'm so glad to see your faces today. I'm so excited to jump in and show you what I've gotten to purchase so far in the year of 2020. I'm so excited to jump in and show you what I've gotten to purchase so far in the year of 2025. I have acquired most of these through either birthday gifts or gift cards from work for doing a great job, and gotten to spend it on the hobby that I love, which is reading. And I'm really excited to get to share with you guys the books that I have chosen. It has been a very tough decision on the books that I have received. I did put myself on a buying band, if you will. I've set some guidelines on how I can purchase books and still get to do what I love to do. One of them is that I don't spend any of my own money. I am really trying to be picky and choosy about the books that I buy. So that rule that guideline has guided me in that decision, because I'm limited to the amount of money that I get from gifts or through points that I get from work to help fund my reading experience. So I've also put into another guideline to where I'm no longer buying books that are already on Kindle Unlimited. The reason behind doing that is, at least for this year, like if it's a book that I really love and enjoy and would read again, there's a good chance I'll buy it, even if it is on Kindle Unlimited. But I found over the last couple of years buying books that those that are on Kindle Unlimited are kind of books that are like a one-time read for me. I'm never going to really read them again. I loved them, but they weren't ones that I would go back and read again or necessarily loan out. So I just am limiting myself to that for now. That may change in the coming years, but for this year, I'm sticking to, if it's on Kindle Unlimited, I'm not going to buy it. Now, there is one book in this stack that definitely is not, that goes, there's one in this stack that bends that rule in half. So know that I'm not super strict on it, but I am being very, very picky about what I am buying, just because I am limited on funds. Now, with that being said, let's dive into the books that I've chosen. Now, understand that the books that I've chosen are definitely not my norm genres. They're not the fantasy romance, contemporary romance, necessarily mystery thriller, or historical fiction. There's a combination kind of in the mix of that, but I really decided at the end of 24 that I wanted to dive into high fantasy, into other genres that I wouldn't normally just pick up. I really wanted to immerse myself into a different world. Now, I know that sounds kind of contradictory when I just said that I'm being very picky and choosy about what I buy, in the sense of like, I am buying books that I believe I will enjoy. But these were books that were of a high recommendation by another booktuber, a couple of them actually, Chris and Mads, which I'll link there, link down below. Also, Becca's books. I've really enjoyed their content over the last year, and I really wanted to dive into the high fantasy realm, and really get to experience if that's the genre that I really like. I've tempted with like Brandon Sanderson books. There's a really good friend of mine that loves his writing, and I'd like to really get into that too. It's very, very intimidating. I high fantasy for me in general is really hard, just because there's so much going on. There's so much movement and world building and character development. Like, there's so much that happens in high fantasy that I've never really like, yeah, let's do it. Let's dive in. And so I decided that's going to be 2025 for me. I'm going to figure this out. And I think what's given me the courage to pick these up or buy these and think, okay, I'm going to go for this, is because I have really delved in the world of annotating my books, which has really helped me immerse myself in the story and want to run with it. So let's do it. Let's dive into what I've purchased so far. So let's start off with this series, which I've actually already started. Let me put it in the right order here. But this is the Wolf Den trilogy by Elodie Harper. And so the first one is Wolf Den, second one, The House with the Golden Door, and the third one is The Temple of Fortuna. I have already read The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. I read that in January, and I'll link that video down below that gives more context of what I thought about it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really excited to pick up the rest of the series and immerse myself in that space. It is a very moving and gripping story. I was on the edge of my seat at the end. Could not believe what was happening. Definitely a book I would recommend to people, but I'll let you know later in the year when I have read the other two, to depend on if I recommend the whole trilogy. So keep posted on that. The next one that I'll go ahead and dive into is the Live Ship Traders trilogy by Robin Hobb. So this series was of high recommendation on both of those booktube channels as well. But this, I have started, The Ship of Magic was this first one, and then Magic Ship is the second one, or Mad Ship is the second one, and then Ship of Destiny, which is the third one. This is in Robin Hobb's, series is the second trilogy in the Farseers. It comes after the Farseers trilogy. I can't think of the name of the whole set, but there's like 6 different trilogies that are in this world. This is the second one. This one I picked up. I know it's out of order. I picked it up because it was recommended that you could either do this one first or the Farseer trilogy, which is the first one. I chose this one simply because it's more fast paced, and because I've never read anything by Robin Hobb before, I thought, well, let me give a shot at reading this set. And if I really enjoy it, then I'll go back and read the Farseer trilogy and continue on. But I've just heard that the Farseer trilogy starts off very, very slow. And I'm not learned with my reading style. I'm not one to really go with books that take a long way. That's part of why high fantasy is very intimidating for me. So I am about a little less than halfway through this book. I am continuing to read it. I picked it up in January, and it's just been a kind of a slog right now. Mainly because I haven't been really feeling like I've been immersed in it. So I am going to get to finish this book, and I really hope that I enjoy it enough to finish on with the other two. So, and then the next books that I got are in a trilogy as well. And this is by John Gwynne, and this is the Blood Sworn Saga. This is the first one. It's The Shadow of the Gods. The second one is The Hunger of the Gods. And then the third one, most recently released, is The Fury of the Gods. I've heard really good things about this trilogy, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it out. The plot seems really, really intriguing to me. So I'm really excited and interested to get into to this one, I recently just got Shadow of the Gods, like in the last 2 weeks. So I was waiting to get the first one before I started it. So I'm hoping that maybe by next month, maybe I'll get to read this one and see if we like John Gwynn's writing. But I'm really excited to dive into that world. And I really hope I do like it, because I did pick up his other series, which was actually his first, which was the Faithful and the Fallen series. There is 4 books technically in this set. I've only purchased 2 so far. But the first one is Malice, and the second one is Valor. And currently, right now, Becca's books, which I'll link again, her YouTube channel down below, their book club is actually reading this right now. And I'm interested to pick this up. I have not started it yet. I originally picked it up because I wanted to read it with my husband, who is big into mythology and history and things like that. And so I thought this was really right up his alley. He's a big fan of The Knights in the Black and White by by Jack White. And so I thought this was very similar to that style. So I'm really interested and intrigued to start this. We'll see how that goes. And then the next few books is just some standalones. I picked up Masters of Death by Olive Lee Blake. This was also a recommendation by Chris and Mad's BookTube channel. They spoke very highly of this book, and I'm really intrigued and want to see what it's all about. It does have the purple sprayed edges, which I thought was really cool. So I'm really interested and excited to pick this one up. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I hope to get to it this year. And then I picked up the second book in the Ninth House duology, Hellbent by Leah Bardugo. As you will, early spoiler, I really enjoyed Ninth House in my March-February read, so I just had to go and pick up the second one. I was very immersed in that world, and I wanted to know more. I want to understand what happens to one of the characters and how they get him back. So I'm excited to start this one. I haven't started it quite yet. I have created... Sorry, that was kind of loud, whatever was going on downstairs. I started to do my annotation key, but I haven't started it yet. But I'm really excited. But I'm trying to read my other stuff so I don't have to unhaul them. And then the last book is The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wong. I cannot get away from this book on BookTube. It is everywhere. People are raving about it. And so, of course, I was like, okay, yeah, I got to read it. Like, everybody's really interested. And this is the one exception to my not buying Kindle Unlimited books. This is on Kindle Unlimited. However, I did buy it because I wanted a book to physically annotate. I do somewhat annotate on Kindle. I'm not super great at it. But I really enjoy the physical method of annotating. So I decided I'm going to pick it up because it's so highly rated that most people are annotating it, that I was like, well, then I guess that's what I'm going to do. So I'm really excited to dive into this world and figure out what all the hype is about. So I'll make a separate reading vlog actually for this book alone, give you my thoughts and my reactions throughout the entire book, and see if it holds up to the hype that everybody's talking about. These are that I have picked up this far in 2025. Thanks for joining us today. Really? Thank you for joining me today. If you like this video, like it. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy reading.